Pretty. It's a very special flower of Vietnam. Yes. We came to Vietnam about 1.5 years ago, and we came so my husband could teach, and I came to get some new inspiration. Our first impression of Vietnam was a very, very busy place, and it was very, very wet. Everywhere we looked we could see motorbikes, so it was quite different to anything I'd ever experienced. Honesty is something I've noticed a lot. I think Vietnamese people say what they think, and I like that because it's very truthful and open, which makes me feel comfortable in this place. I like Vietnam and Vietnamese people because they love music. I think that singing is something that is used in Vietnam as a very strong celebration, and if there's any party there's lots of singing, so I really like that.
Việt Nam là nơi có nhiều cảnh đẹp cũng như văn hóa lịch sử lâu đời. Người dân nhiệt tình, thân thiện, hiếu khách, ẩm thực phong phú. Đây chính là những lý do khiến nhiều du khách nước ngoài yêu mến khi đến với đất nước hình chữ S. Và Claire Cameron, người phụ nữ đến từ Anh Quốc, là một trong số đó. Đã đón một cái Tết ở Việt Nam, và đây là cái Tết truyền thống thứ hai ở Việt Nam mà Claire trải qua. Mỗi khi vào dịp này, Claire thường cùng bạn bè đi dạo một vài điểm yêu thích tại thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, và phương tiện mà cô yêu thích là xe máy. Điểm đến ngày hôm nay, Claire cùng bạn muốn tham quan là chợ hoa Hồ Thị Kỷ ở quận 10, thành phố Hồ Chí Minh.
Dip. Which one?
This one.
That's nice. Chao Chi. What's on high? Wow. 120. Flower is an orchid. In Vietnam, many people come to this flower market to buy flowers for Tet celebration, and I think we can find some of those ones if we have a look down here. Come on. Come on, Mew. It's pretty. It's a very special flower of Vietnam.
Yes. One shoes.
This is for our Tet celebration at home, right? And
they have to be in that environment so they can grow.
but at the top it's so beautiful.
Chợ hoa Hồ Thị Kỷ có từ khoảng thập niên 80 của thế kỷ trước. Chợ hoa sôi động ngày đêm. Đoạn đường dẫn vào chợ chỉ vừa đủ rộng cho hai xe máy ngược chiều tránh nhau, nhưng lúc nào cũng ngạt ngào hương thơm của hàng trăm loại hoa hòa quyện. Nhiều du khách nước ngoài khi đến Việt Nam được tham quan chợ hoa cũng đều thích thú.
I think it's very beautiful here, and I like to buy flowers because they represent celebration, and in a funny way I think flowers make me quite calm. If I have flowers in the house, I feel happy. So seeing so many flowers is beautiful, and all the different colours. It looks like a rainbow. Okay, so now we have finished our visit to Flower Street, and I feel very ready to celebrate the holiday because I bought some really beautiful flowers. In Vietnam, lots of people like to visit the flower market and then they go to the pagoda, so that's where we're going to go next. Vietnam, people like to visit the pagoda to wish for good things for the new year. So I wanted to come and do the same so I could experience that. After coming here, I feel very peaceful and I have lots of happy wishes for the future. Thank you very much. Xin cảm ơn nhiều. Xin cảm ơn. So have a good time today with your family. Thank you for your help today.
Có thể nói, tình yêu mà người phụ nữ đến từ Anh quốc này dành cho Việt Nam lúc nào cũng đong đầy. Cô luôn hào hứng khi nói về Việt Nam.
Today when we went on the Vespa tour, I really like it because you can see Chinatown and Cho Lon in Vietnamese Tet celebration style. So I like to see all the different decorations, and everywhere you look you see red and gold and the flower market. I've not walked through there before, so I think it puts very strong imagery in my head and it makes me want to write. So I really enjoyed it today. I've only experienced Tet in Vietnam once, and I think my experience of Tet is probably quite different to a Vietnamese experience because rather than go home to my family, I stay. So I experience the city when it's very quiet. But I like to walk around the city when it's quiet because you can walk along the pavement and there's no chickens or motorbikes or food stalls, and you can do more walking, and I think you discover a city when you walk. So last year I did that, and then I went to Nguyen Huế and I look at all the flowers and beautiful sculptures. I found that amazing. And also on Tet, the day itself, on the first day, I had an ao dai made, and she told me I was a lucky customer because I was the first customer of the year. And I saw a dragon dance as well. So this year I think I will go again and look at the flower street, and I think I will get another ao dai to start the new year. I think that's a nice way of saying thank you to Vietnam as well. I like to get Vietnamese clothes.
Ngoài những góc cạnh năng động nhộn nhịp của thành phố, Claire còn muốn khám phá thêm màu sắc khác của một Sài Gòn tĩnh tại và bình yên.
I feel quite calm and peaceful on this side because feels like you can sit in the country and look at the city. So it makes me feel quite relaxed, I suppose. Saigon growing up my window, she's creeping right under my pillow. With warm lights and sleepless nights and motorbikes, and I know it's go with the flow. In this place which goes by many names, both different and somehow the same. This smiling and trying and guessing means no when you're yesing. Where a nap can be taken most times a day. A nap can be taken in many ways. A floor here, a desk, but by far the best is stretched. Before I came to Vietnam, I was singing with a band. So I had Claire Cameron Band, which was my original songs. But before that, I sang by myself with the piano. So I've probably been performing for about 20 years now. But the last 10 years I was with a band, and before that on my own. I think coming here, it was a good time for me because I'd sung with the band for a long time, and we released an album, and we were ready to get inspired again and find some new songs.
Tình yêu âm nhạc cộng với những ấn tượng về cuộc sống thú vị tại Việt Nam đã tạo nên nguồn cảm hứng bất tận để Claire cho ra đời những sản phẩm âm nhạc tràn đầy cảm xúc mà cô dành cho Việt Nam.
For the first few months I stayed in Ho Chi Minh City, and then we went to explore. The first time I went to Hoi An was with some colleagues on a team building trip, and they introduced me to the beautiful Vietnamese lanterns. So I really liked them, and I got married last year, so I decided to take my husband back to Hoi An, and we bought 100 lanterns and we sent them to England. It took 3 months, and they arrived in England, and then when we got married we had Vietnam at the wedding. It was really beautiful. I think I'd say again it's the openness and honesty of Vietnamese people, and I like the way that nothing becomes too dramatic. I think in Vietnam, if somebody's late, someone's late. In England, oh no, they're late, it's a big problem. I think it's nice that Vietnamese people are a little bit more relaxed, I think, but they work very hard as well, but they work in a different way.
Claire say sưa kể những gì cảm nhận được ở đất nước xa xôi nhưng gần như gắn bó với cô sâu đậm. Với Claire, chính sự khác biệt văn hóa Đông Tây là điều thú vị nhất.
What I like about Vietnam and the culture is the connection to your ancestors and history. I think that's much stronger here than it is in Britain. I think it's really nice that they're constantly talked about, and when you have the rituals and celebrations, the ancestors are always there in the background.
Có thể nói, những cảm hứng đó đã trở thành chất liệu độc đáo, giúp Claire thăng hoa hơn trong công việc lẫn đời sống âm nhạc. Một trong những sáng tác nổi bật và cũng là bài hát Claire có thể cất lên ở mọi nơi, đó là bài hát dành cho Sài Gòn, mang tên Saigon Sound, thanh âm Sài Gòn.
So I've just finished a song called Saigon Sound, and I started composing this about 1 year ago, and the beginning of the song is quite, you call it staccato in music terms, which means that it kind of is like that. Because when I first moved to Saigon, the impression of the city that I had was very busy and all these things were happening, and there's lots of building construction and there's lots of traffic, and it's the first thing I felt. And then as I understood the place and began to get to know the people, I realized that actually it's a bit more like this, which is more calm. And that made me think, actually, if I get to know Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City, I will feel more at home here, and I will understand that the place is always going to be bigger than me, and I just have to learn to go with the flow and get to know my Vietnamese friends and understand how the city goes like a wave.
Với hơn 10 năm ca hát và biểu diễn, Claire luôn tìm cho mình những khoảnh khắc mới lạ. Cô sáng tác không ngừng nghỉ. Niềm đam mê nghệ thuật của Claire luôn được vun đắp và chia sẻ từ người bạn đời của mình.
Yeah, really enjoy it. We've been here for almost 2 years now, and it's a fantastic place. There's lots going on, but also a very nice place to relax and enjoy our life. Lots of nice restaurants and lots of nice local people, nice screen parlours. So it's a really good place, and I think we'll be here for quite a lot longer. There is so much to see and inspire you, from the history and the culture to the people to the food, and I think that really inspires her to, with her music, and express herself.
Dù cuộc sống bận rộn, nhưng Claire vẫn dành thời gian để học tiếng Việt. Đây cũng là cách để Claire có thể hiểu hơn về Việt Nam. Và trên hết, đó là tình yêu mà Claire dành cho nơi được xem là quê hương thứ hai của mình.
I think what strikes me about Vietnamese music is the level of enthusiasm and passion that goes into every song. So if you hear a Vietnamese song, I think it feels like it comes really much from the heart. So when people sing, they really feel it. I think that's really, it's not always there in music. Sometimes people don't have that passion. I think Vietnamese music does have that passion. I decided to study Vietnamese because I think it's a very important part of culture, is understanding language. And Vietnamese songs are very passionate and people feel very deeply when they sing here. So I wanted to try and understand that so I could incorporate some of Vietnam into my music. Even if I can only speak a tiny part of Vietnamese, I just wanted to be able to say I'm learning and I'm trying. So the challenge of it is exciting, but I think it's great to include it.
You never truly listened. I tried to help you gain the strength, but you turned back.
Vốn dĩ là một người yêu nghệ thuật, nên ngoài việc tìm đến với âm nhạc, Claire còn muốn trải nghiệm Việt Nam qua những hoạt động nghệ thuật khác như vẽ tranh. Đó là khoảng thời gian cô cảm thấy nhẹ nhàng sau những giờ làm việc căng thẳng.
In my free time, I often spend time painting, because I think that's a really nice way of observing the world around me, and I find it really relaxing as well. I think painting is quite like music. When you write a song, if you create colour with music and lyrics, then you bring something to life. So I really enjoy painting. Yeah, at the painting class I met with one of my good friends, Lindsay, and she teaches us watercolour technique. And I've been to that class a few times, and you start with a wash, which is the lighter colour in the background, and then you build many layers of different darker colour, and that creates the illusion of 3D perspective. Today we were painting Tet postcards for our friends and family. So I will send them to England to celebrate the New Year. I think we learn about Vietnamese culture through what we painted today. Today we were learning by painting things that relate to Tet. So we painted the yellow flower, which I know that Vietnam really likes in Tet. And also we painted a goat because we go into the year of the goat.
Mặc dù có nhiều sự khác biệt với đất nước mà cô sinh ra là Anh Quốc, nhưng Việt Nam vẫn là một vùng đất mà Claire yêu mến. Việt Nam luôn được cô dành cho một tình yêu đặc biệt.
I have lots of different friends from different backgrounds in Vietnam, but Today I'm going to see some of my Vietnamese friends, Phương and Mandy. We like to spend time together going shopping or going for coffee or for some food. And we like to talk about what we enjoy doing and our family. And they also help me understand Vietnam and Vietnamese culture. Living in Vietnam has taught me a lot of things about life and about understanding that people's cultures are very different. I think it's taught me to be more patient and more understanding of other people's views, and also it's made me want to learn more and challenging myself to do more learning in general about history and culture and language. I see Saigon as a complicated friend. She has very busy moments and she has very relaxing, surprising moments. And that's when I write my music, I try and convey that sometimes I feel frustrated because it's quite busy and hard work, but sometimes in moments like now where it's beautiful and it's more peaceful, I think you have to go to different parts of the city because each district is different. So I think actually there's a lot of variety in Saigon as a place, and that's why it's fun to live here, because you can find a different mood depending on how you feel. Favorite food in Vietnam has to be pho. I think it's really delicious and fresh, and it almost tastes like Vietnam for me. I've never tried any Vietnamese food before I moved here, so pho that represents Ho Chi Minh City for me.
Những hình ảnh về Claire Cameron cùng bạn bè thưởng thức món ăn Việt Nam đã kết thúc chương trình ngày hôm nay. Một lần nữa, Thanh Vân xin kính chúc quý vị bước sang năm mới với nhiều niềm vui, may mắn và sẽ tiếp tục đồng hành cùng chương trình để hiểu thêm về cuộc sống của những người nước ngoài tại Việt Nam. Còn bây giờ, xin kính chào và hẹn gặp lại.